Hey, it's Dr. William, and I need to tell you something that's going to make you go check your medicine cabinet the second this video ends. For more than 30 years, companies have sold billions of dollars worth of pills based on an idea that we now know was flat out wrong. And here's the part that should really bother you. The supplement sitting in your cabinet right now, the one you take every single morning because you believe it's protecting your heart or fighting off cancer, might actually be doing the opposite. It might be shortening your life. If you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s and you've been faithfully popping a multivitamin or an antioxidant blend for years because a magazine article or a pharmacist told you it was smart, stick around because this one's for you. Let me back up and show you exactly how this happened, because once you see it, you will never look at a vitamin bottle the same way again. Back in the 1990s, researchers noticed something simple. People who ate a lot of fruits and vegetables had lower rates of cancer and heart disease. That part was true then, and it's still true now. But then scientists made a leap that turned out to be a mistake. They figured fruits and vegetables were packed with things called antioxidants, and there was a popular theory floating around at the time that little troublemakers called free radicals were causing disease by damaging our cells. So the logic seemed obvious. If antioxidants fight free radicals and fruits and vegetables are loaded with antioxidants, then antioxidants must be the reason fruits and vegetables keep us healthy. Once that idea took hold, the next move was predictable. Why eat a whole bowl of blueberries when you could just extract the antioxidants, cram them into a capsule, and sell people the benefits of fruits and vegetables without the inconvenience of actually eating fruits and vegetables? To back this up, researchers created a measurement called ORAC, short for oxygen radical absorbance capacity. It became the gold standard for ranking how powerful a food's antioxidants supposedly were. Blueberries, acai, pomegranate, they all scored sky high, and suddenly you had entire product lines built around being the next miracle superfood, often with a price tag to match. If you Google ORAC today, you'll still find pages and pages of charts and rankings, the same ones companies love to slap on their labels. What almost nobody tells you is that the whole thing has been quietly abandoned. In May of 2012, the United States Department of Agriculture pulled the entire ORAC database off its website. Their official reason was blunt. The values had, in their own words, no relevance to the effects of specific compounds on human health, and the numbers were being routinely misused, both by supplement companies to sell products and by regular folks like you and me to make decisions about what to buy. After years of research and millions of dollars, nobody could find a meaningful link between a food's ORAC score and any actual health outcome in a real human body. So does that mean fruits and vegetables are useless? Not even close. They're still some of the best things you can put on your plate. Scientists just had the right conclusion for the wrong reason, and that mix-up is exactly what built an entire industry of supplements that don't actually do what the label promises. Here's what the antioxidant theory missed completely. The real reason fruits and vegetables protect you has almost nothing to do with fighting free radicals in a test tube. It's about your microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your gut. You have roughly as many bacterial cells in your body as you have human cells. But here's the wild part. Bacterial DNA outweighs human DNA by roughly 150 times over. That matters because those bacteria can do things your own cells simply cannot. They break down compounds you couldn't digest on your own, they manufacture enzymes and proteins, and they unlock nutrients that would otherwise pass right through you. Fruits and vegetables aren't good for you because of some antioxidant score. They're good for you because they're loaded with fiber and plant compounds called polyphenols that feed this bacterial ecosystem living inside you. A healthy, well-fed microbiome lowers inflammation throughout your entire body, strengthens your immune system, produces neurotransmitters that directly affect your mood, and keeps the lining of your gut strong so you don't end up with a leaky gut, which has been linked to allergies, autoimmune problems, and a long list of chronic disease. None of that has anything to do with mopping up free radicals. It's a completely different mechanism, and it's the one nobody ever bothered to put on the label. Now, before I go any further, quick favor, and I promise this is the only time I'll ask, if this is already making you rethink that shelf of pill bottles, hit subscribe and drop a comment telling me which supplement you're now side-eyeing, because I genuinely read every single one. Okay, back to business, or really, back to the scary part, because this is where the story stops being theoretical. Researchers didn't just sit around theorizing about antioxidant pills. They tested the theory on real people in massive, carefully controlled trials, and the results should have ended the antioxidant supplement industry overnight. In one landmark study called the beta-carotene and retinol efficacy trial, researchers gave high-dose beta-carotene, a plant-based form of vitamin A, to more than 18,000 people who were at high risk for lung cancer because they smoked or had been exposed to asbestos on the job. The trial was stopped early before it was even supposed to end because the group taking the supplement had a 28% higher rate of lung cancer than the group taking a placebo, along with a higher overall death rate. Not a smaller benefit, not simply no effect. Actual measurable harm. Harm so clear that the safety board pulled the plug rather than let the study continue as planned. A separate trial out of Finland testing beta-carotene in male smokers in their 50s and 60s found a similar pattern, an increased risk instead of the protection everyone had expected going in. Then there's vitamin E, tested in a massive trial called SELECT, which followed more than 35,000 men, most of them well into their 50s, 60s, and beyond, for close to 7 years. The men taking vitamin E supplements alone ended up with a 17% higher risk of prostate cancer compared to the men taking a placebo. 17% from a vitamin most people assume is about as harmless as it gets, and it doesn't stop with individual studies. In one of the largest reviews ever conducted on this topic, researchers pooled the results of 68 separate randomized trials covering more than 230,000 people. Their conclusion, published in one of the most respected medical journals in the world, was that beta-carotene, vitamin A, and vitamin E supplements were all associated with a small but very real increase in the risk of death. Let that sink in for a second. These weren't sketchy products from some shady corner of the internet. These were mainstream vitamins sold at every pharmacy in the country, sitting right next to the aspirin, and the best available science says they may be doing you harm, not good. So why on earth would a vitamin make things worse instead of better? Here's the part they never explain on the bottle. Your body already has a built-in defense system for handling free radicals, and it is light years more powerful than anything sold in a capsule. Free radicals are generated inside your cells constantly by the trillions every single second as a normal byproduct of making energy. Your body can't wait around for you to remember to swallow a pill after breakfast. It needs defenses working around the clock, and it already has them. There are 3 main players here. First, an enzyme called catalase, which can neutralize roughly 6 million free radicals per minute per single molecule, and your body can churn out millions of these molecules as fast as it needs them. Second, an enzyme called superoxide dismutase, which specifically targets the most damaging free radicals first, like a triage nurse working the worst cases before anything else. Third, glutathione, often called the body's master antioxidant, because it backs up the other 2 and recycles itself in the process. All 3 of these work inside your cells, exactly where free radicals are actually produced, and none of them get used up the way a supplement antioxidant does. Think of a vitamin pill's antioxidant like a single-use fire extinguisher hanging in your kitchen. It puts out one small grease fire and then it's empty, done, useless until you buy a new one. Your body's internal system is more like an industrial sprinkler system that never runs dry and never needs refilling, no matter how many fires show up. But here's the twist that really changes everything. Free radicals aren't just waste products your body is desperately trying to mop up before they cause damage. They're actually signals generated on purpose that tell your cells to strengthen their defenses and build more resilience over time. This happens through a master switch inside your cells known as NRF2. When free radicals show up in the right amount, they flip this switch, and that single switch turns on the production of catalase, superoxide dismutase, and glutathione all at once, like flipping one breaker that lights up an entire house. It's an elegant, self-regulating system that took millions of years to develop. Now here's the problem. If you flood your body with megadoses of external antioxidants from a pill, you can neutralize those free radicals before they ever get the chance to send their signal. No signal means the NRF2 switch never flips. No switch flip means your body never ramps up its own natural defenses. You're essentially disarming your own security system in the name of trying to help it. And that may be a real part of why some of these trials showed increased harm instead of the protection everyone was hoping for. And to be clear, none of this means vitamin E itself is bad. This is about the pill versus the food. When you get vitamin E from real food, you're getting 8 different natural forms of it called tocopherols, all working together as a team. 2 of the most important are alpha tocopherol and gamma tocopherol, and they work through different pathways in your body, which is exactly why you need both, not just one. The problem is that almost every vitamin E supplement on store shelves contains only the alpha form. You're getting 1 out of 8 components, and worse, because alpha and gamma tocopherol are similar in structure. High doses of alpha actively compete with and displace gamma from your system. So a typical vitamin E supplement doesn't just fail to give you gamma tocopherol, it can actively push out the little bit you're already getting from food. That's the quality problem nobody talks about at the pharmacy counter. A bottle that screams 20,000% of your daily value on the front label sounds impressive, but an isolated synthetic megadose of 1 fragment of a nutrient is not the same thing nature originally packaged, not even close. There is one real exception worth knowing about, and that's alpha-lipoic acid, specifically the R form, sometimes labeled R-alpha-lipoic acid on the bottle. Unlike most antioxidant supplements, which work on a strict 1-to-1 basis and then get used up for good, our alpha lipoic acid actually recycles and regenerates other antioxidants already in your body, including vitamin C, vitamin E, and glutathione. It's both water and fat soluble, which means it can actually get inside your cells where the work happens, and it's naturally found in your mitochondria already, so it's not some foreign substance your body has never encountered before. Here's the catch, though. When manufacturers produce alpha lipoic acid, they end up with a 50-50 mix of two mirror image versions, the R form and the S form, like a left glove and a right glove made from the same machine. Only the R form is biologically active. The S form does essentially nothing useful on its own, and worse, it can actually compete with the R form for absorption, meaning a generic, cheaper alpha lipoic acid supplement may give you noticeably less active benefit than the label suggests. Paying a little more for the R-only version is genuinely worth it if you're going to supplement at all, and this same pattern, isolating one piece of a food and megadosing it, shows up again and again across the supplement aisle. High-dose vitamin C, resveratrol pills, megadose beta-carotene capsules marketed for eye health. They're all built on that same shaky logic. Find the one compound that seems responsible, strip it out of its natural food matrix, multiply the dose by 100, and put it in a bottle with a picture of a healthy-looking older couple on the label. Nature never delivers nutrients that way, in isolated megadoses stripped of everything else that was supposed to come along with them, and your body simply wasn't built to handle them arriving that way either. So where does that leave you, practically speaking? First, let go of the old idea that fruits and vegetables are healthy because of their antioxidant content. They're still fantastic for you, just for a completely different reason. They feed your microbiome day in and day out. Second, drop the belief that megadosing on antioxidants in pill form is doing you any favors, because right now, the evidence points the other way. Instead, focus on triggering your body's own defense system the way nature intended. Exercise is one of the best tools you have for this because it creates the right kind of oxidative stress, the kind that flips your NRF2 switch and strengthens your cells rather than harming them, on top of roughly 100 other benefits exercise provides that we don't even have time to get into today. And no, you don't need to run marathons in your 60s to get this benefit. A brisk daily walk and some resistance work goes a long way. Intermittent fasting appears to trigger this same internal defense pathway as well. And if you want one specific food to add to your rotation, broccoli sprouts are the single richest known source of a compound called sulforaphane, one of the most potent natural activators of this NRF2 system that we know of. Beyond that, build your everyday diet around whole foods because whole foods deliver nutrients the way nature actually packaged them, in their full, messy complexity, not as one isolated fragment squeezed into a capsule and sold at a markup. If you do want to add a targeted supplement on top of a genuinely good diet, our alpha lipoic acid is one of the few where the science actually backs it up. This is Dr. William, and if this changed how you think about that vitamin bottle sitting in your cabinet right now, then this video did exactly what it was supposed to do. I'll see you in the next one.